We are live. Welcome back, everyone. We are at session 97. Hope all of you are having a wonderful Sunday. It's been a busy week. However, we're going to do a long session today. Been practicing every day, just a little update. Still practicing about 15 minutes a day due to other things that have been going on here. But we're going to jam around a bit this morning, have a little longer session, and I hope you are all keeping up with your guitaring, and thank you again for following along this roller coaster ride of mine of getting back into music. You know, sometimes life happens and just got to roll with it. All right, 2 guitars are all we're keeping out. The Tele and Miss Jackson. I did a complete new setup for all the OGs who are been the hardcore followers. Love you guys. Miss Jackson got an entire setup this week. I reset up all my guitars late in the evening because that was pretty much one thing that I was able to do without getting everything dirty. But completely reset up Miss Jackson, the Tele, the Schecter that's stored, the PRS, went through that again. Intonated everything. Everything was pretty darn close. A few things were a little off, but I didn't set that before, so that was kind of expected. So anyway, enough yabbling. Let's jam and get this party started. Whew. Be a nice, just did scales, not much riff work, just scales. And in my 15-minute morning, a little bit of noodling, and that's about it. Just keep the fingers fresh for the week, but we still got every day, so that's a positive. But we're gonna jam a lot today because I am absolutely missing long session jam. So welcome back. Oh, also been playing around with stacking overdrive pedals and middling around with that. Well, that was mostly last weekend, but I figured out what I liked, and I'm stacking the Packrat in front of the preamp on the Orange Crush, which made some interesting sounds. A lot of feedback, but once you get past the feedback, crank it up high enough, almost got a couple of squeals, so pretty cool. Gotta get warmed up a little bit and jam. Stacking this up, check this out. That's sounds cool. Check this out. A lot of feedback though. Sounds a little bit different, and I kind of like it. Always add a little more delay. Not a lot of delay. I reverse this pedal setup and it's not delaying like I want it to delay. Oh, there we go. Wrong button. Much better. go. Got something flowing a little bit. A lot better than all those scale work this week. All right, hey. Ugh, that was fun. Oh, starting to get warm again here in California. Whew. Starting to get a little sweaty. Liking stacking the pedals up. Let's play around with this. I haven't actually played around with these other settings yet. Packrat has 9 different individual settings on it, so we're going to play around with that a little bit. This is I can read that way down there, but it's a different setting. Some of them muffle it a bit, some of them bring it up a bit. Hear that? Alright, I'm going to chase that. Oh, man. I'm going to chase that in the future. Man, that's cool. I gotta remember what that setting is. GRF. All right, good to know. My God, that's a cool one. Let's keep playing with that. I promise I won't torture your ears too much today, but this is fun. Man, I want to get that. Holy shit. Very much a Van Halen sound, but I love that. I am a sweaty mess now, and that was a good jam session. I will see all of you fine folks next weekend, possibly during the week, but got a lot of construction going on. Thank you all again for following along, and I will catch you all later. Peace.